work from home aspect of it is, I'd be crazy. I don't know.
From the flip side, I'll say what I noticed. I had reservations about living at home or about living alone.
Yeah.
And like in high school, and I mean, I've never had a problem talking to people, but I always considered myself to be, I'm a kind of person who like re-energizes by being alone. I need alone time.
Yeah, same, yeah.
And so I considered myself to be an introvert and less socially inclined is maybe what that means. Like my first instinct or first behavior is to be by myself.
Mm-hmm.
Being around people is like a secondary behavior.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe it's still like that, but living alone actually has made me way more social.
Yeah.
Because it's like you just sit here by yourself and you're just like, oh, I could just be in here forever. I need to go out.
Yeah, it forces you to be intentional about it. And I think within a more intentional frame, you'll put yourselves in situations that are more fitting to you rather than if you just happen to be around people all the time, you kind of just what you get is what you get. And eventually you're, at the end of the day, you're burned out and you're like, I need to be alone. But when you're alone all day, you're like, I need some social time. Like what's the best kind of social time that I can have? And so you think more intentionally about it.
Yeah, you start curating your life more. That's a good point. I didn't think about the intentionality aspect.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, maybe there's an even further thing where if I have the freedom to work from home, maybe I start traveling and, people live in different areas. And
would that be good for you? Like, can you self-manage your time well with that kind of stuff?
That's the thing, man. Is
I
I
struggle
just have
with
so
that.
many other things that I want to be doing.
Yeah.
If I had my paintings staring at me, or if I just have time, like I'm just going to do other things.
Yeah.
I'm just not, and that's another reason why I won't get a work from home job is because, I mean, at the job I've got now, I've worked from home a couple times and I'm just not as productive. I get distracted. There's other stuff going on. The connection is bad. If the internet connection is bad, and I'm like, I'm never going to work from home again for the job I'm at now because when I'm in the office, it's just less frustrating.
Yeah.
I have people around me who are working, so that's motivating.
For sure.
And the internet connection is better, so my workflow is smoother.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I always tell people whenever I work with somebody, it's like the biggest hack for me in terms of being productive is working around other people. Like me working on my own. Yeah, I mean, similarly to what you're saying, like there's just a bunch of different projects that will pull me in a different direction. Like for the festival, I've recently told Buzz is one of the people who's on the team, and she has a lot of experience in executive assistant, like kind of stuff. She's the executive assistant for the chancellor at SU. So she's like very high level, knows how to manage schedules and stuff. And she's been helping out a lot with just scheduling and managing tasks and stuff like that. And she was asking like, would some of you want me to take that role on more? Be a reminder kind of person, manage schedules. And I'm like, Buzz, please, yes, that's what I need. Like I need someone to just like badger me about stuff, because otherwise. I mean, I wish I was better about that, dude. Like
that helps me to hear that actually, because I'm actually really good at scheduling and being on top of. It's so interesting. You framed it in a way when we first kind of met, and I don't think it was about me, but it was about successful, like aptitudes. Is that the word? Like an aptitude for success? Or I don't think that's the right word.
Aptitude.
But characteristics that lead to success.
Okay.
And you said one of the most, like the strongest correlations between a characteristic and someone who's successful is conscientiousness.
Yes. Yeah.
And I realized I think that might be my biggest strength. I think I have conscientiousness to the max.
Yeah, I think so too. I think you're probably have you ever done a Big 5 personality test?
What are it's like the INFJ things?
No, it's a personality test, but it's a little more scientific. The INFJ thing is Myers-Briggs, which is
Yeah.
it's just not like as scientifically rigorous as the Big Five is considered to be the best in personality testing. And it's broken into 5 categories. It's openness, which is like openness to experience. A lot of, if you're high in openness, you're like an artist. Conscientiousness is basically your desire or intrinsic drive to work hard. Extroversion, which is introversion, extroversion, how much energy you get from being around people. It's also, it's maybe more specifically correlated with a positive emotion dimension. That's more how it's actually, what it actually measures.
Interesting.
Agreeableness, which is, I mean, I'm sure you're very low in agreeableness.
Yeah.
That's kind of your propensity to be people pleasing. And neuroticism, which is the negative emotion dimension. So that's, do you often feel depressed, anxious, do things bum you out, stress you out, etc. And
I already could tell you the answer to all those. I already know
well, I'd be
I am.
curious to see where you fall on a test. I mean, you might be pretty accurate just in self-diagnosis.
The only one I don't know is where I would land with the introversion extroversion.
Same.
I don't know.
Yeah, I've taken it a couple times, and I feel like just at different periods of my life, I'll land at different places. I feel like I can. I was gonna say I can be both, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't know where I fall on that either. Yeah, I mean you're probably high. I mean, the openness one is weird because like
I have hard lines.
Yeah.
Right. Like I'd say I'm fairly open, but also I'm opinionated, and I do set pretty hard lines sometimes. You'd say,
But that might be more agreeableness than. I mean, openness. Yeah, I think openness is maybe more like your willingness to let new information in or stuff like that.
So a learner,
or to explore. I mean, people who explore are very interested in ideas, and exploring ideas tend to be very open.
Oh, so then
I mean, you're probably pretty high in openness.
Yeah.
I think conscientiousness breaks down into a couple different things, and one
Do
of
you
them.
think we would score super similar?
Probably. I think so.
I feel like we would.
I think we probably would.
Yeah.
Yeah. The conscientiousness one, I think all of them break down into kind of subcategories, but I think conscientiousness breaks down into orderliness and industriousness.
Yeah, man.
Industriousness is like,
production.
Is kind of like your ability to not exactly problem solve. It's like to be industrious.
Output.
What's that?
Come up with solutions, output.
Kind of, yeah.
Move forward.
To be industrious is like if you have people who are very high in this sub part of conscientiousness. If you give them some object like a brick and say you have 1 minute to write down as many uses for this as possible, someone who's very industrious will come up with a lot.
That's a nice word.
Yeah.
Industrious.
You can
You're
find
industrious.
you can find ways to use things or be able to solve problems in creative ways.
Yeah.
And then orderliness is, I think it's split into those two. And orderliness is a bit more of a conscientiousness in general. I think is skewed a little bit towards like conservatism. Like it's more represented in right wing than left wing, if you want to divide it that way. And orderliness in particular is like something that is a manifestation of that is like borders, like having strong borders, having very
building
strong
a wall.
and building a wall. Yeah, literally. Yeah, building a wall, having really strong social norms and rules for how people interact, how people date, how people, dress in public. Like that's orderliness, is like maintaining the structure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love personality testing. It's so interesting and enlightening.
Yeah, you said you've taken that one like a bunch of times?
A handful, yeah. I don't remember where I score on all of them, but I mean, beyond like the personal aspect of it, of knowing myself a little better,
I feel like
I think it provides a really good lens to view the rest of the world through, especially with the knowledge that these traits, to a large extent, overwhelmingly come from your genes, basically, or things which are out of your control, like your prenatal environment. Like there's there's effects that'll manifest later in your life with how prone you are to stress based on how stressed your mother is, how much, food she was eating, what kinds of food. Like, there's all these things that.
How many cigarettes what kind of cigarettes she was smoking?
Maybe what kind of cigarettes.
Marby Lights, Marby Reds.
But like with the fact that all these things are innate, and that you can also see them divided on like the political spectrum. Something like openness, for instance, is a very, very good predictor of being liberal or left.
So you're saying the two-party system is inevitable?
Kind of. I mean, we talked about this a bit, like the idea of there needs to be two forces that are constantly pushing against each other to find the middle.
Yeah.
And I think that's like, I think of. Yeah.
I said there shouldn't be one president. It should be a thruple.
There should be three.
It should be. I think it should be. Yeah. I think. I don't know if if it's like a conservative liberal thing or if it's like a gender thing where like one of them should be
king and queen. We're going back to monarchy.
Like I feel like there should be like a king and a queen. Like there's something that I think is very. I don't know. I believe that men and women are different. And they each have qualities that can benefit the other. Mm-hmm. And a symbiotic relationship between man and woman is like the strongest leadership force. I mean, that's what leads a family.
Right.
The family unit is led by a man and a woman.
Yeah.
Sorry, I mean, I don't mean to.
Oh shit, dude! Yeah, we'll cancel now.
There are, of course, other types of families. Okay,
yes,
there's plenty of other families. Don't cancel me. You can do whatever you want. Mm-hmm. I don't give a shit. Whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, there's something I think. I can't remember where I heard this. Someone said when it comes to a relationship, they thought of it as. The man is the end. It's like you think of like a boat or like a car or something, and the guy is the engine. He provides like the power and the strength and the energy, and the woman is the steering wheel, and she guides it and decides where it should go, what paths are good and bad. And something about that, I kind of like the idea of. I mean, maybe I actually came up with that.
Is that true though? I don't know. It doesn't feel exactly true to me.
I think I actually came up with that. Like, okay, so the best way that you can make something seem legitimate is you say that you heard it from somewhere else, even if it's something that you came up with.
I heard this from Steve Jobs.
I read somewhere. Yeah, some people say.
Yeah, that's what Trump does. He's like, everybody's saying it's. Yeah,
whatever he's saying.
The whole world's on his side. Yeah, true.
So yeah, I'm saying that I heard that somewhere, but I think I actually came up with that. And the mindset that I was in when I thought of that was I was looking at excuse me, doing seltzer with the vodka tonight, so I'm burping. I guess there was a time where I had a partner whose perspective I really trusted. Yeah. And I feel like as an artist, you have to be a certain level of egotistical. You have to have a sort of thick skin where you're like, fuck it, what I'm doing is good, and it doesn't matter what you say, I believe in it, and I'm going to push it forward no matter what. You almost have to have these like blinders on a little bit to the world.
Yeah.
And there's a benefit to having the blinders on. But there's also danger because you can get delusional, go down a rabbit hole, you can get totally lost.
Yeah.
And so I felt like when I had a partner who I trusted could critique me or keep me from falling off a cliff edge, what that did for me was it freed up more space and mental capacity for me to drive forward further. It allowed me the ability to be a little bit more egotistical and a little bit more
someone else was steering for
because
you.
Someone else was going to check me. I had someone else steering.
Yeah,
right? Now I feel like by myself, or I'm including you a little bit in this, and I'm still trying to kind of gauge with other people sometimes, because if it's just me and I have to be the engine and the steering wheel, I ultimately, if we think of this as a journey, I don't think I get as far. If you have one person who's got 100% capacity and 50% steering and 50% engine versus two people, that's 200 capacity. So then you can have 100 engine and 100 steering. I think that's better.
Right.
I don't know if that maths out, but that's kind of, I guess, how I was thinking about, like, as I'm sitting by myself in the studio and looking at my paintings, like I feel like I'm having to do the steering wheel a little bit more than I'd like to. I want to be more egotistical. I want to be more delusional. I want to have my blinders up a little bit higher and just fucking go for it. Instead of having to do this almost like guess and check sort of thing, you'd say.
What is so you're feeling like you're having to do a lot of steering of your own work? In what way?
Yeah, maybe more than usual. And
Is this a new thing or what? Because I don't think we've talked about this before.
No, I think it's been going on. I don't know. I think now
Is
that
this with like, it's just like a kind of doubt?
Yeah,
thing?
it's doubt.
Because I think doubt's okay.
Doubt is, yeah.
I think doubt's maybe actually an important thing.
I think the problem also is now that I have these other responsibilities, which I feel like, living alone now, making meals, grocery shopping, having to do like real adult stuff. The paintings are moving along a little bit slower than I would like them to be moving.
Got you.
So that leaves more time, I think, maybe for me to question them.
So it is that you're questioning like the merit of the work or the direction.
I
of
think
the
the question basically is this good?
Yeah.
Is this me? Which also maybe
I think the me question creates the opportunity for such a perversion of the like creative practice or whatever.
Yeah.
Like the focusing on you.
Okay.
I feel like it's the wrong, like, is this me? It feels almost analogous to like the same question of like, will other people like this? I don't
You think it's the same?
I think it's the same in the sense that I don't think it should matter if it's you or if it's other people will like it. You just make what you make, and if you feel like it's good, it doesn't matter if it's you. I mean, what it reminds me of is,
Oh, that's interesting.
it reminds me of like when, an artist will get big and then they'll try to keep up their image by, like, oh, is this song really within my brand? That's what I'm hearing when you're saying that.
Oh, okay, that's so interesting.
That's what I'm hearing when you're saying that. And
It's
I think that's like just something you should totally not think about.
Okay, so I'm writing down the two questions that I'm having a problem with, and one of them is this me, and the other is this good? Because the way that you say it makes it seem like the better line of questioning is this good?
Yeah. I mean, maybe it's, is this good, or do I like this? Do I feel drawn to this? I mean, there's the classic, make the thing that you want to see exist. Kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's
what I feel like I'm sometimes. Yeah, because sometimes when I'm not working, I'm just like, oh, I'm no longer doing what's exciting to me, and that's the problem. And I think maybe the best way. So I guess the way that I think about it, and the reason why I think the question, is this me, is valid, is because I think the alternative is this good thing where I'm just like, I've done something before that I thought was successful, or maybe someone told me it was good. I was in 7th grade. I started liking girls. I wore this blue shirt to school. A girl told me I looked really cute in the blue shirt, so I wore it every day for the rest of the year. That sort of thing. Mm-hmm. Now, is that being like, I guess what can happen is you can start blindly copying yourself because someone told you it's good, or you convinced yourself it's good. And that's what I'm skeptical of, is like, am I just repeating myself and doing this thing over and over again because somehow I thought it was good without paying attention to like what I'm stoked to be doing?
Well, yeah. I mean, what is your criteria for something being good then?
Yeah.
For me, the sense of something being good doesn't come from an analytical.
Okay, this is a good question.
It doesn't come from an analytical perspective. It just comes from a feeling of something being right or true, or just something being right. I think if you start getting analytical about is this good, and you start thinking about balance or line weight, or you start thinking about all these analytical frameworks for judging if something's good. I think that's just the wrong way to view any artistic thing. It's through frameworks. I mean, sure, you can do that to maybe unpack like why does this feel right? Why does this feel true? Why does it feel like this is good?
Yeah.
But as a check of is this good, I think that's just garbage. I don't think that's a useful thing to do at all, to assess the merit of work. I think it has to come from an intuitive sense, just like a gut feeling of there's something about this that just feels right. And I think using analytical stuff is...
I feel like I
just
can
not
never
right.
tell in the moment that something feels right.
What about when you see someone else's work? Does it happen? Have you ever had that feeling where you see someone else's work?
Immediately. I know.
Right. That's what you're aiming for then.
But I
you
don't know if I
make
can
that.
ever see that in my own work. The way that someone else's work excites me. Because again, what excites me about someone else's work is the fact that I don't see that in myself.
That's what you have to optimize for then, is how can you create systems, because I know you're very systemized.
Yes.
How can you create systems that produce surprise?
That's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
That's everything that I'm doing.
Yes. That's what you have to do.
I'm creating a system that makes it super likely for me to encounter something that surprises me.
Do you feel like that's been happening more with
Yeah,
whatever
but the
your
problem with
process
that,
is?
like I was looking at, okay, so like this painting here, I when you were over last time, I just said fuck it, and I did the really big blue rectangle.
Yeah.
Remember, and I was like, I might have screwed that up.
Yeah.
Okay, and then it sat, and what happens is it sits, and like I'll look at a photo of it. I'll see a photo of it in my camera roll like a week later, and I'll be looking at it. I'm like, wait a minute. Is this the surprise I've been looking for?
Uh-huh.
Is this good? Can I be content to leave it here? I was asking myself these questions today as I was looking at this before I put the yellow on.
Yeah.
And I guess maybe I just have a really difficult time seeing my own work because, and maybe this is another problem with living in your studio, is I don't take these paintings down. I'm living with them. I'm looking at them all the time.
Yeah, it's probably not good.
No, it does something else.
I've never worked like that, but I imagine...
I get so used to them.
Yeah. I feel like maybe that's something you should try to change.
Damn it. And this one right here is too big. Like I got to get a new setup here where the nails are pulling down on the drywall a little bit too much. Yeah. And one of the critical components of these paintings is that they're level.
Yeah.
And once the nails start pulling down and they get a little bit not level, the whole thing's kind of fucked.
Yeah.
So what I need to do is get some wood blocks and nail the wood blocks into the wall and then set the paintings on that.
Right, yeah.
So I kind of, distribute the load a little bit better.
Yeah, right.
And then once I do that and I can start taking the canvases down off the wall, maybe I'll start doing that. After a session, I'll take it down, turn it around, and not look at it. That might help a lot.
Yeah, I think that would. Yeah, because I think like when they're staying up all day and you're seeing them, you're eating around them, and you're not working on them, they start to ossify kind of in your mind. They start to become like a solid, like completed idea. Like they kind of come out of the realm of a work in progress a little bit.
Maybe that's good though.
You get too familiar with them maybe.
Maybe that's good because then I think it takes that, like there's something about, this is a Gustin thing. This is a Gerhard Richter thing where they also can't tell in the moment. Or like Philip Guston tells these stories of him, having the spark of inspiration, painting like a madman for 6 hours in a row, 8 hours in a row, into the early morning. The sun starts rising. The birds are chirping. He goes to sleep. Maybe he does some other stuff for a day or two, and he thinks he's painted a masterpiece, basically. But then all of a sudden, he walks back into the studio 2 days later, and he looks at it and he goes, oh, no, the magic's gone.
Yeah.
And he paints over it. So, and Gerhard Richter does this thing where like he will paint, he'll think it's done, and then he'll have a show in a gallery, and he'll hang up the paintings in the gallery, and for whatever reason some of them don't hold up, and he's no longer satisfied. The magic is gone again, and in the gallery hours before the show he'll start painting over it again. So maybe it is good to have them up, because I'm forcing them to see if they can stand up for themselves.
Yeah, but I don't think you give yourself enough of a break to see them with fresh eyes.
That's the problem. I think you're right. That could be the problem. But I think I still know. I mean, I've finished paintings. I've been living here, and I have finished paintings. So I think I do kind of. And even the one, I don't know. Like, there's ones I look at in my camera roll that I painted over, and I'm like, maybe there was something there.
Yeah.
But for some reason, to me, like, how do you deal with that? Like,
with what?
What is it like for you when you're working on a painting, and like, it's this simultaneous thing where you see something you like, you're satisfied by it, and yet somehow something inside you tells you it's not done?
Yeah.
Does that happen to you?
Oh, yeah.
Right. So
Yeah.
what is that?
I mean, sometimes there's an element or an area of it that I like that I think is right, but maybe the rest of it is too boring or not worked enough, or it's not cohesive. Sometimes that's it. Like, there'll be a spot, there'll be like a, 1 foot by 1 foot area that I'm like, this is just so rich, and like this spot, if I could keep this and make the rest good, it'd be perfect.
Yeah.
But often what I find happens with that is the holding on to of that little area that you like holds back the actual progress of the rest of the painting.
It's got to be one fell swoop.
Yeah, I think sometimes you can manage that. I find more often than not it holds me back, and I end up being too precious. And I mean, going back to the surprise thing, like you come out of a state of being kind of wild and surprising yourself, and you go into a very careful, holding your breath kind of state.
Yeah.
And as soon as you do that, you just start doing boring shit.
Right.
And so often when I notice I'm holding on to something like that, I try to at least recognize that that's the case. It's like, all right, there's this thing that I really like, and I want to keep it. I know that's going to make me maybe be a little more careful. And sometimes I'll try to be careful for a little bit. If I notice it's really holding me back, I'll do something radical and kill it,
Yeah.
Which sucks and it's hard to do. It's like when we were talking with Scott, he was talking about, the B plus paintings, the B paintings, your graded system of paintings. There's your your A pluses, which are just like perfect, hits the mark. It feels great. It's, top tier. Then you have your crap work that's, you're just tired in the studio and trying to get something out, and it's just crap and you're frustrated. It's like an F. But then there's some that are like Bs, and it's like, it's right there. And that's the most annoying, the most frustrating one, because it's so close, and there's maybe elements that you really like about it that you want to keep, but it's not quite there. And so there's the struggle of what to do with that. It's just such a struggle when there's a little bit that you like that you want to protect, but there are little tweaks you want to make. Cause again, it puts you in that state of holding your breath, of holding something too precious.
I was looking at a moment on this painting where I considered just cutting it out.
Yeah.
And
do that too,
re-stretching it.
Yeah.
Because as I've been working on this larger one, I've never worked on a painting. Well, actually, no, I have finished one that was this big. But I don't know if it's because I've been working on smaller paintings for so long. But the problem with this is it starts to feel like two paintings. Or three.
This one is, you're saying? Because it's too big?
I think it's too big maybe for what I'm doing. And it's the balancing act I have to do. It's almost like I have to make the painting on the left agree with the painting on the right. I'm not seeing it as one painting. Or it's just a whole new challenge.
So I have a question about how when you're working on it, how you're working on it. How often are you? So let's say you haven't started painting on it yet. You have the layers from before, and you're ready to start putting something new on.
Yeah.
I imagine you look at it and you think about, okay, I'm going to do some yellow, and maybe pick out some spots where you're going to put it. Do you do a spot and then step back, or do you just do you stay close to the canvas, or do you step back to see it all?
I start stepped back,
right.
And I kind of look at. I mean, it's this kind of balancing thing that I'm always doing where I'm trying to maybe it's this back and forth between disrupting the harmony and bringing the harmony back. And I have to make a decision. And this decision maybe comes from a little bit from intuition when I'm looking at it is like, okay, I decide on a color. The painting needs this color for some reason to maintain a balance between red, yellow, blue, and green. So I pick the one that I probably haven't done in a while. And then I decide, is this going to be a disruptor or an organizer? Am I going to disrupt a balance that might exist, or am I going to try to bring back a balance that I don't feel like is there? And I will find some different places. And I think what I've actually done is I'll kind of see it in my mind's eye. I'll design
where you would put
where
the
I'm
stuff.
going to put it.
Right, okay. Yeah.
And then I go up close, and then I try to go with the gut thing, but also kind of forget a little bit and allow intuition to be like, oh, maybe it should go a little bit higher. Maybe it should take me over here a little bit. Or maybe I should just do a little bit something that I didn't plan on before. That's a little bit, what I wouldn't do. I'm trying to get to something where maybe this disruptor is now going to be a harmonizer, or this harmonizer is now going to be a disruptor. And it adds a new challenge of having to kind of bring it back in again, or maybe see something new, and this is just with the paint. I mean, then I'm going in with crayon.
Yeah.
And I'm still figuring out the language of the crayon too.
Yeah.
The crayon is instead of a harmonizer or disruptor of composition, the crayon is a definer of boundary. It's a solidifier. Do I want to solidify this area or that area? Which do I want to make into a figure? Which do I want to allow to be the background?
Yeah.
That's what it pulls things to the foreground when I put the crayon on there. Yeah.
Yeah. So what I was getting at with that question is you were saying you felt like maybe it was too big. You felt like you were working on multiple paintings at once because stuff is so far away. I was thinking about if you were at the face of the canvas all the time, that would make a lot of sense because you're not taking the chance to step back in between. Well, I guess maybe I didn't get an answer to that question. Like, let's say if you do this area mark over here, do you then step back and look at it, or no? Before you do the rest?
No.
Yeah.
Well, maybe sometimes I will.
Okay. Yeah,
but no, I think once I start going with a color, I try to not step back again. I try to finish the thing when I'm because then I'll start overanalyzing, and I think I'll do something that's too logical or too not. I'm trying to kind of, feel that flow.
Yeah.
Why? What do you think about that?
I think because I think that there's merit to the idea of the feeling the flow and just kind of it could be an element of surprising yourself.
I kind of want to fuck it up. That's kind of how I felt tonight. I was like, and in the beginning, I mean, I kind of had this thing where I want so many layers.
Yeah.
That it's almost like they're kind of inconsequential anyway. So this is my time to screw around. And what happens when I'm doing that screwing around is sometimes I do arrive at something where I'm like, wow, I feel like this is it.
Yeah.
And then I'll put it away and it's a done painting. That probably happens maybe 1 out of every 7 where it's a really premature completion.
Yeah.
1 of every 6 or 7 probably does that.
Yeah. Oh my God, dude. Crazy. Also, I thought it was funny that you said premature completion. It's pretty funny. That's gonna have to be a timestamp.
Yeah. Great.
Yeah. No, I think there is something to the just staying up close and kind of getting in flow state, not considering the whole painting, because I think that's a place where you can get surprised. You know, like if you were stepping back after every major move that you made, you would get into a lot more analytical state. The moves you would make would not be things that would surprise yourself because they would all be intentional. They'd be thought about. Whereas if you're up close the whole time, you might start doing stuff that, if you step back, you'd be like, I would never think to do that.
Right.
So that can be good.
Yeah.
I think though there's different times for that kind of approach, and there's different times for a step back, analyze approach. Like I think if you're doing if you're in that mode where you're just kind of staying up close and maybe getting surprised by moves that you wouldn't make if you were stepping back to analyze them first, you might create some surprising things. But if you're in a state where you're trying to harmonize, let's say, maybe it's a dichotomy between the harmony and disharmony. Like I think when you're up close, you're a lot more likely to create disharmony if you're working on something you can't see the whole scale of. But when you're stepping back, it's an opportunity to harmonize what's there. It's to see, what areas are
Right.
feeling off in some way, and how can we rectify
My
that?
problem
And
is,
it's
though,
make a move, step back, analyze, like what did adding that note in the harmony metaphor do to the whole chord, let's say. And then think, okay, what would adding another thing here look like? And then you do that, step back, analyze.
Right.
So maybe it's a dichotomy between the harmonizing versus deharmonizing.
Right. It definitely is a back and forth.
Yeah.
The thing I'm trying to figure out a little bit is if I stop, when I stop, do I stop because it feels like a harmony, or do I stop because it feels itchy? Sometimes I think I've probably done, it'd be interesting to go back and look at my paintings, but there's this whole thing where like, the painting kind of has to feel alive in a way. Like it's everything is kind of where it's supposed to be, but also everything has the possibility of moving again at any second. And you're almost like finding something that's alive and you're pinning it down for a second and it feels right where it's pinned down, but you're not convinced it's going to stay there forever. It's this weird kind of thing where, because there becomes this thing where like if everything is in the right place and is exactly where it's supposed to be, why it doesn't leave any agency to the viewer to have to like look at it again. It's just like, okay, it's dead, it's fine, everything's right. I don't need to come in and be a problem solver here. I don't need to save the day. This painting doesn't require my attention.
Well, I think about the right place is encompassing that too. Like,
yeah,
the right place for something to be sometimes is slightly out of, off kilter, or it's somewhere where it feels like it wants to move. It feels
that's
like a little
what I'm
bit itchy.
Obsessed with.
Like that. I feel like that to me, I mean, maybe this is just a semantic kind of argument, but to me, right place encapsulates that. Like right place to me doesn't mean everything is static. Right place means everything is like it becomes a cohesive, interesting whole. It's not about it following rules. It's about it feeling right or true or interesting, intriguing, enlightening.
Yeah,
awe-inducing.
That's the goal.
Yeah.
How are you with all this talk about? I'm getting annoyed, man, because we've been sitting, we've been hanging out, we've been talking about art and stuff, and you're fucking not painting.
I know,
dude. You're not
dude.
So how are you?
Someone has to hit me with
whatever
something.
kind of
Someone has
creative
to
stuff.
abuse
No,
me.
I mean it's whatever. But like, how are you channeling whatever? I mean, is it just passing right through you? Like all this kind of.
I've been getting a lot more excited to paint.
Right. So this inspiration, right? Because we went to the open studios. Like, what are you?
Yeah.
How are you dealing with being surrounded by this creative energy?
Yeah. Well, I mean, recently, sometimes the way, what you're getting at, I think, is like there's this creative drive, and how do I? There's a thing that's pulling on me that says create stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm not creating stuff. Like, what is that about?
Well,
And
I wouldn't say that.
Well, I'm not creating a lot. I mean, I guess what I was going to get at is like the reason I haven't painted in forever. I mean, part of that, there's logistical, practical reasons. Like the basement's full of stuff. I've been doing other projects. I mean, that's one of the reasons I haven't done a lot of creative stuff is just I've just been too busy, which has become increasingly frustrating. And the other night, actually, I finally just got so sick of not creating stuff.
Well, the drawing.
I just started doing some doodling, and most of it was just stupid.
That was good. That got me fired up.
Yeah, but there was one thing that was cool. I'm like, oh, nice. I hung it on the door. And I mean, it's been frustrating to not be doing it. But I also have other creative outlets. Like I've been doing a lot of writing. I've been doing some music stuff here and there. But yeah, I mean, I do miss painting. I want to get back to it soon. But I don't know. I mean, this is kind of a different thread, but I'm thinking about this has been kind of the question of my life recently for the past maybe year-ish, let's say, is what's the best way to use my time?
What's the best way to use my time?
Yeah. Because there's so many different things that I want to do, but you can't do 100 things for your whole life. It's like you can do one thing for part of your life, another thing for part of your life. You can't do it all is what I'm saying. And
go to sleep for 6 hours right now. Go.
Yeah. I have to, basically I just have to focus. I just have to focus more on fewer things.
Fuck yes, focus.
Yeah. Shout out. Yeah, so that's kind of what I've been dealing with recently. I've been thinking about
you gotta get locked into a singular thing, or like 2 things, or 3 things.
Yeah, or 12 things.
Right, you gotta narrow it down.
I gotta narrow it down
Maybe
to
you should write
20
a
things.
list
of
all the things you want to do, and start crossing off the things that you would be okay not doing.
That's the
like
problem.
Imagine your life without this or without that, and you're just like,
that's the problem. Is I just have, and maybe maybe it's just a maturity thing. Like I have such a hard time closing myself off to so many of these things. Like there's so many things to me that scream, this is extremely important, and you could do this.
That's a problem.
That's a freaking problem.
Well, I mean, is there a way that you can maybe just like be like, okay, this week or this day or this next 2 days I'm going to dedicate to this thing?
Yeah.
Or even block it out in chunks of hours. Like, I'm going to put my phone on Do Not Disturb, and I'm just going to lock in and focus on this thing, deep focus for 2 hours.
Yeah. Yeah, I do that with things regularly. I think the problem is if there's so many things that I want to focus on, I might be focused on and make real progress in that amount of time, in the 2-hour block that I set out, let's say. But over the course of a month, let's say I'm writing, that's the thing that I'm focusing on in this example. So I spend 2 hours writing, and then, the next 2 hours I spend doing painting, and the next 2 hours I spend doing, my actual job. You have to break it up differently than that, obviously, because I have to work more than 2 hours a day. But, point being, at the end of the month, I might have only worked 4 hours on writing or 6 hours on writing.
You got to see the ball keep rolling forward.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, what I really am interested in general, with anything that I do, is excellence. Like, I want whatever I make to be top tier. Like I want to compete at the highest levels, and the only way to do that is to basically do one thing.
Yeah, dude.
Is to basically just do.
Yeah.
Because everyone you're competing with, like the people who are the best at tennis, aren't also bowling and aren't also becoming really good at barbecue and aren't also surfing and 10 other things. It's like they're doing tennis for like 14 hours a day, like 6 days a week.
Yeah.
It's like that's who you're competing against. Like the odds that you're gonna be able to surf, play tennis,
that's why I stopped playing Fortnite.
Dancing, and be the best. It's not gonna happen.
I couldn't play Fortnite anymore.
Yeah.
Because I just sucked. I don't play enough Fortnite.
Oh,
and I just go on there and
yeah.
just get killed. And I'm like, this isn't even fun.
Yeah.
I can't kill anyone. I'm just getting domed on because these guys are building their freaking...
They're just too good.
They're just building over me.
Yeah.
It was awful, dude. I was a noob.
Yeah.
But I wanted to play. The amount of investment it requires, the amount of your time you have to put into a video game to be able to enjoy it.
Yeah, something like that where it's
annoying.
competitive. I mean, is it not like ranked lobbies?
Maybe a little bit. I mean, I had some fun, but I mean, I did win. I think I won a couple games.
Okay, yeah. I feel like they
Royale.
I would imagine they would have some skill based like matchup in that, but maybe not. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the difficulty that I've been having. I mean, this has been a problem forever. It's just I want to compete at the highest levels, but the problem is I want to compete at the highest levels of like 20 things, maybe. Maybe it's not 20. I mean, there's maybe a dozen or so. But
do you
maybe around 20 or a dozen?
I feel like, I mean, there's been, I feel like if you get good enough at one, if you get really good at one thing and you garner a certain level of respect for that one thing that you're really good at, not only does it earn you money and free up time, but also I think it makes people more open to you doing another thing.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you demonstrated yourself as a competent person, which gives you credibility, even if it's in a separate field. It's like...
Yeah. So if you kind of begin with the depth, you might free up your ability for breadth later on.
You're right, dude.
If you begin with breadth,
yeah,
you might just be treading water your whole life.
Yeah. That's lit and so true, dude. Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to kind of balance that and figure out, like, I mean, there's a difference between, I feel like I've kind of honed in a little bit what I'm good at, but even still, I don't feel like I am putting enough of my eggs in one basket to really push one thing. I'm being wishy-washy too. And
really, I feel like you're, from what I see at least, like you're pretty hard on painting. I mean, what else is splitting your time?
Trying to sell prints, doing a podcast, maybe building a website.
Okay,
working a 9-to-5 job.
To me, that's all pretty aligned, though. I mean, like the stuff that I'm interested in is like
reading.
I mean, I think all that stuff kind of aligns or like parlays.
It is mostly aligned, yeah.
Yeah, like I mean, yeah. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
No.
Well, I was going to say, I mean, the difference between like the stuff that I'm interested in, a lot of it doesn't really go together. Like, I'm interested in...
What are the two craziest things?
Let's see.
Jiu-jitsu. That one was wild to hear.
Yeah, dude, I love jiu-jitsu. I love jiu-jitsu. Yeah, I mean, like, wanting to...
I want to see this list.
Of my competencies and interests and stuff?
Yeah.
I'll pull it up at some point.
Yeah. You have to keep it on your phone.
Huh? Yeah, I haven't looked at it forever, but it's on my phone.
You're like, I haven't been doing enough puzzles. I forgot I like puzzles.
Oh no, it's not a list of that kind of stuff. It's it's a checklist of how many.
What do I like?
Yeah, what do I like? What do I have to check off? No, so like, I have an interest to do painting. I have an interest to do music. And those are kind of, they cluster together. But then I have interest in things like, I want to be a philosophy professor, or I want to be a I want to do work in governance systems. I want to do work in economics. I want to do work in.
I feel like this is like some sort of advisor.
What?
Like I think the quickest thing that you can do the fastest thing that it's like the most bang for your buck is consulting in terms of your ability to impact with minimal. All you do is show up and talk.
Yeah.
Like there's got to be some sort of capacity where you could just spend 4 to 6 hours a day just reading and gaining knowledge and all these different things.
That's a lot of what I do. I mean, it's not that much time recently, but that's a lot of what I do. And I agree. I think the consulting thing I could be really, really good at because, I mean, the benefit of a generalist is, as someone who collects a bunch of, and this,
you're
also,
not a boots on the ground production guy. You're not like a monkey that we're going to put on the computer to like, you're not like a coder.
That's not
you're
my
not going to
strength.
hack.
Yeah,
I'm not
gonna excel at the highest level.
Be doing the grunt work or something. Mm-hmm. You need to be kind of like dipping in here and there, providing some like advice.
Yeah.
Hey, this is all the things you should maybe consider about doing this. Hey, this is kind of what you consider, and this is done. All the general information of a generalist that a specialist doesn't have time for.
Right. Well, so there's a guy, Peter Zihan, who is he has kind of a focus, but he's a consultant basically. He consults companies, he consults lawmakers, and he comes from a place of geopolitics, and I think there's a second kind of part of where he specializes, but I mean geopolitics encapsulates a lot of stuff. It's very very broad. It encapsulates stuff about cultures, and stuff about their systems of government. It includes supply chains. It includes things like geography, weather, waterways.
Super cool.
Technologies. It includes so much stuff, and so he has a very very broad range of knowledge. I mean, he was on a podcast recently I was listening to, and he's talking about nuclear energy. He's talking about demographics. He's talking about culture in different countries, and he goes to companies and will consult them on business strategies or markets they might want to be interested in. And because he can see this big picture,
right?
The only way you can see the big picture is by stepping back and taking in information from a bunch of different areas. Someone who's your chief financial officer is gonna know about your internal money stuff, and is gonna know a little bit about, a fair bit about the markets you sell to, but it's not gonna know about some adjacent technology that is gonna disrupt you in 5 years. That takes a generalist. That takes someone who's looking broadly, and that's, I think, a skill set, a value that I can bring, but I just don't know how to get into consulting.
Well, I think what you got to do, man, is you got to start surrounding yourself with people or inserting yourself into environments where you're going to meet people who value your skills.
Yeah.
People who are working in sectors.
How do I do that?
Probably moved to New York City.
Think so?
Yeah. You move to New York and you just go to coffee shops and you go to events and you just talk to people. And dude, it's so awesome going to New York because everyone there is just so stoked. Everyone is stoked to like do something, be a part of something, make something, talk about something.
Right. Everyone's building. Yeah.
Everyone's building. It's builders. And so you're just like, builders and connectors. So they're going to be, I know a guy who's doing this. I know a guy who's doing that. Or, I'm working on this. Like, and everyone is so nice. I mean, maybe this is just my experience, but everyone is so nice and inviting and opportunistic. I mean, it just feels like a place like I every time I go there, I feel hopeful.
Yeah.
About something coming together. It's just like, wow, this is the freaking land of possibility.
For sure.
And if I just show up and be me, I'm going to find my way to the right thing. I feel that every time I'm there.
Yeah.
And the money's there.
True.
And important people are there.
Right.
Yeah, so if you want to be a part of the affecting the course of important meetings and important stuff.
Yeah.
And those are the people like who here is doing anything important that would even value. It's just a different sort of thing. Like I think about like my art and my paintings. How can I do a freaking 4 foot by 5 foot painting and expect someone to hang it up in their, suburban house in a cul-de-sac. You know, like it's just not relevant. It's not relevant at all. So there's a chance that you knowing about this geopolitic guy or all the knowledge you have about how sun flares are going to destroy the earth in 2 years, that's not even relevant to what's happening in Syracuse. To anyone's day-to-day thing. Nobody gives a shit.
Yeah.
No one cares.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I agree with the idea of, I think I would probably do well in a consulting kind of position. I think that's my strength, is I have a broad base of knowledge, and I just don't know how to get connected with those people.
The Career Platforming Podcast.
Yeah. I hear what you're saying about going to New York, and I mean, it's just a place that's a lot more populous and also probably more connected, hustle bustly kind of energy.
It's
too.
awesome.
But I still don't know if there's a lot of reasons to not move to New York. But
they're gonna blow it up.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, it's one of the most important cities in the world. It's a little bit scary, but
they're gonna blow it up.
Yeah,
we're gonna blow it up.
We are. You said
we're gonna. It's like what Bush did 9/11. The CIA did JFK, right? So maybe, who's gonna blow up New York City?
Well, waiting for paint to dry.
We're gonna do it. I'm trying to think of a goofy, like Mickey Mouse or something. Like whatever, dude. It's gonna be an inside job.
Yeah. Mom Donnie's gonna do it.
Mom Donnie's gonna. Jokes on you guys.
Yeah.
Mom Donnie blows up New York. Everyone's like, "What? No
it's
way."
Like, no, he was so cool though. He smiled so much.
Yeah, gotcha, got him.
He pranked us, dude.
Pranked.
He got freaking pranked. Yeah, so I got to figure out how to meet these people. I mean, I remember a few years ago, I mean, having this kind of conversation with myself about being a generalist and what the best way to leverage that.
Yeah, I don't think you should steer away from it. I think you got to lean into it and leverage it.
Yeah,
it's you.
Yeah. I just have to. I mean, the conversation I was having with myself about it was basically about kind of what we're talking about, of like the way that I can thrive with my tendencies and knowledge, skill sets, is to link up with specialists, basically.
Yeah.
That's really how I think generalists thrive.
Is there
often,
like a place you can go look for a job? Are there job openings for generalists? Like, I've never even looked. Is there like a thing like, we need a generalist?
I mean,
wants that? A startup?
Startups are where they're most. Yeah, where they're most effective, most common. I mean, like any entrepreneur is a generalist. And often their teams, when they start out, tend to be generalists. If you have a small founder team, they're pretty much always all generalists, or at least you have one. I think it's rare that you have like just a. I mean, how would a specialist do all the things that are required to start a business? I mean, unless you just build a great team.
Well, I mean, I think that the ones that end up being successful have that kind of savvy business mindset. That's
what I'm saying. I'm just saying, like, it'd be hard to survive without that. So there's kind of a survivorship bias there.
Yeah.
And also, there's probably an interest level of people who are generalists that see, oh, I could do this. I'm interested in all these things. So yeah, I mean, startups that were generalists tend to be consultants. I don't think it's super common though in large established businesses to get people to look for people.
Right, you probably don't need it at that
who
point.
Are general.
So
yeah,
big.
I mean, you have.
What are we trying to do here?
Yeah, ideally you have a system and protocols and stuff in place. It's just a machine that runs, and you just need people to slot into, boxes to do the job.
Guess where small startups are, dude?
What's that?
2 places.
New York and San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
It's true. It's true.
That's it.
Yeah. I know, dude. I know. Yeah. I just...
Okay, so I have a thing.
Okay.
This is from the very beginning, kind of like thread I wanted to go down. Maybe we kind of got back there. About like locations and moving and this appeal that there is now as an artist, as an Instagram influencer, to have a national audience. And to build an audience nationally. And that's what I've been doing. That's what I've been trying to do.
Yeah.
Because I kind of perceived there not being an audience worth gaining in my local community. So I thought, okay, and I didn't have the access when I was living at home at my parents out in the country. So I thought the only way to go is national or international. And I'm wondering now, as I've built these sort of connections nationally and internationally through my phone, if they're worth anything. And am I doing myself a disservice by not being located in a place where I am truly, truly passionate about building locally?
Yeah.
I mean, I got to be honest with you. It's like, even still, like, I mean, like, we've gone to stuff. We've gone to events. I've met your friends and stuff. And I still have these hunker down isolation tendencies. And I'm like, am I feeling that because it's how I am? Or am I feeling that because this isn't a place where I'm truly stoked to put my roots in the ground? And that's what I told myself even 3-4 years ago. I said, this is not going to be the place. When do I get to a point where it's like, I need to be in a place where I'm totally stoked about getting involved in that place and forget about the national, forget about the international connections, and just focus on networking in the community?
Yeah.
That day is imminent.
Yeah.
And I think it's coming soon, where I just kind of felt like, holy shit, like, maybe what I'm doing now isn't like good at all. Like, it literally has no value. Because Instagram can make you kind of think that there is value and that they are connections. It's the fucking anti-social media, dude. Someone was talking, I listened to a podcast the other day that was saying, like, just the calling it social media is fucked up. Because then people say it and they believe it. This is social media.
Right.
It's not. It's not social.
Yeah.
People are not friends here. The connections aren't really worth anything. And I started to really kind of drill down on that and be like, holy shit, like, am I actually building nothing? And is what I'm imagining being of value literally zero, literally nothing? That could be the case.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, one of the first things that stands out there is having a national or international audience or network, let's say. It does some good things for you, but there's one of the things that it doesn't do is most of those connections you're not going to do any real project with ever.
Right.
You know, their benefit is pretty much, let's say, maybe conversationally. If you talk to these people, you know, you might have some ideas bounce off each other, and that might be helpful. And they might also connect you with someone who, you know, maybe, let's say, puts you in a gallery or something like that, you know, in Berlin or whatever. But most of these people who you're not interfacing with in person regularly, that you can build something physical together with. I mean, those people who are so far away that you're never going to build anything with are just they're kind of capped, I think, in the value of that relationship.
Well, yeah, because I think
for
being...
a like, let's say, career building standpoint.
Because I think I just get lost in the sea of all the other things in their world. You just get kind of... Here's another, maybe this is an argument against what I just said, is the problem with local. I was talking to my mom about this the other day, about like going to local events, local concerts, seeing local art. We have a problem now with this what do you call it? The global is or one world. The one world initiative is creating a problem where I have so much intake of, like, I have access to, if you want to call a podcast a friendship simulator, okay? And I get to have one-way conversations with literally the smartest people alive. What that does is I'm used to listening to Tim Dillon and Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg and these people in like these interviews and stuff. And now I'm just going to go talk to like a regular person and hear how they talk and what they have to say. Or like I'm going to be listening to music by these incredible musicians, and now I'm just going to go to some shitty local band and see like these shitty local musicians. Maybe they're fine.
Yeah, no, they might even be good. But
they might even be good.
right,
or like
but
the art.
Yeah.
I got to go to a local museum and see artwork by local artists when I can go on my phone and look at Rothko's and this and that and like be amazed by all the stuff that's on my phone. All this one world interconnectedness is subjecting us to the possibility of experiencing things, or the actual kind of virtual experience of things that are far greater than what we're likely to experience in our immediate surroundings.
Right.
And what that's doing is it's making us unappreciative of the real things that we're experiencing in our immediate surroundings.
Yeah, for sure. 100%.
Which is fucked up, because now we go out and we're a bunch of fucking stuck up brats like, oh, this isn't good. It's not as good as the things that I'm seeing on my phone.
Right.
So why would I even fucking be here? I'm just going to go home and sit on the couch by myself, be on my phone, watch Netflix, do that because it's better.
Right. Yeah, and it pulls you. I mean, like you're getting at, it pulls you into an isolated state where you're on your phone, you're on your TV at home alone, and engaging with things that are not physical, that don't bring you around other people, that don't foster relationships. I mean, the big one that comes to mind there that's very similar is dating. We have this illusion of, you know, everyone's standards are ridiculous now.
Yeah.
You know, every girl wants a 6'3" guy who makes, you know, $120,000 a year. You know, and you know, of course, every woman wants that. But you know,
they can find those kind of guys that'll give them attention on their phone.
Well, I mean, sometimes, but also like, I mean, to date somebody like that. I mean, the like number of people who actually exist that are like that.
I'm 6'3", by the way.
Yeah, we're both 6'3", and we both make undisclosed amount of money a year, but it's a lot, ladies. But I mean, you know, they have, you know. And you know, guys have this too, but I think women are currently more delusional about the you know, about the standards that they hold. But yeah, I mean, it's this kind of inflation of
expectations.
Yeah, exactly, and that's with everything. It's like what you're saying. It's like you can see a movie or you can see a band. Yeah, and it's local, and if it's not as good as the best band you ever heard, you know, it's like you don't want to engage with it. And I mean, to be honest, I fall into that too, because what I'm most interested in is like the best stuff. I want to be pulling stuff off the top. I don't want to be. I don't like to have to do a lot of sifting. Through stuff.
Good stuff.
I mean that's just a natural human instinct. I think is like, you know, you go for density, and. You know, when it's like so many things with convenience, like as soon as you have an option to do something more convenient, to make something easier, you go for it, but it's at the expense of all the connections you would make by going to local things and seeing maybe not the best art in the world, but, you know, you get to see some good art that might give you some inspiration, and you might meet people, and you might have a real life experience.
Yes, dude.
That's
what we got to get back to.
You know?
There is value in real life experiences.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, and I think everyone's coming around to this realization that we've lost so much that I think it's taken the culture a bit of time to digest. And I think it really started picking up maybe 5 years ago, or maybe a little more than that, when people started talking about, you know, more mainstream, talking about the problems of social media. But I think it's so clear now. It's so mainstream. And I think it's been for a while now that people have been starting to re-engage.
The problem is we're being
trained.
trained. I have another little rant to go on here that's come kind of fired up about this, like these problems that are happening. Is another one is Amazon Prime 2-day shipping. There's this whole idea of, or think about maybe like you think about like the dial-up computer.
Yeah.
When you were a kid, when I was a kid.
Did you have
and we used
dial-up?
to have like, no, that was a little bit before me.
Okay, I had a friend who had dial-up.
But it was like the thing, I had the thing after where still it's like, I was used to searching a website, clicking it, and waiting like 20 or 30 seconds, I think,
Wow.
for the web page to load.
Yeah, he had bad internet. Mine wasn't that bad.
Maybe
but-
even a minute
Yeah. Oh, geez.
when I was 6 or 7 years old.
Jesus Christ, dude.
And
we have to make a rule against 6-7, dude. It's just bad at this point. Anyway.
and I had this kind of realization over the summer. Get this. I was in the Adirondacks, okay? My grandparents have a house in the Adirondacks. I was there with my family. My sister and I, on fucking Saturday morning, on vacation in the summer, in the Adirondacks, go to get a coffee.
Mm-hmm.
We go to the coffee shop. We order our coffee. There's a little bit of a line. It's Saturday. It's summer. We're in the Adirondacks. And I felt like I was in a room with a bunch of fucking pissy people because they weren't getting their coffee quick enough. Everybody is impatient. You think that it's good that we're getting things quicker and quicker and quicker and quicker? Guess what? No, it's bad because people are becoming less and less and less patient.
Right.
And now what that means is they're more and more and more likely to be pissy when something takes a little bit longer than they thought it was going to take to get to them.
Yeah.
That's not good because now it's a Saturday and you're in the Adirondacks with your family. You have the luxury of just being able to go to a coffee shop and not worry about your life. And yet you are pissed off. You are impatient. You are being irritable.
Yeah.
Step outside of yourself, see where you are, feel the breeze, and realize you're being ridiculous.
Yeah.
So I'm concerned.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it also feeds into a general way of feeling about time investment. And what I'm trying to get at is I think it the more things we have like that are immediate, like we get the thing we want like sooner and sooner and sooner, is it makes us unaccustomed to when things take a long time, which I think generalizes to a whole bunch of stuff. Like, let's say it's some kind of self-improvement thing you're doing. Let's say you're going to the gym. It's like everyone wants the results overnight. And of course, everyone wants that. But it would be one thing to want that and realize how ridiculous it is because nothing is like that.
Right.
But we live in a world where not everything is like there are some things we can get them overnight, and so I think it makes us super impatient and it makes us very it reduces our likelihood to invest in things long term or think long term, maybe even in general, just to think long term.
Right.
Which obviously has huge problems.
There's such a benefit in that space between like having the thing that you want and getting it.
Yeah, wanting it and having it. Yeah, the space in between before you get it.
Beginning a task and ending it. There's something, I had this quote, I'm kind of inching my way over here to this thing on the wall. This is from, I think it's from Fahrenheit 451. I didn't write this. I think I maybe hinted at this paper in one of our previous conversations. I walked into my 11th grade English classroom and I got to my desk and this paper was on the floor.
This exact one?
Yes.
This one in your hand?
Yes.
Wow.
I've kept it.
Piece of history.
It's a piece of history. It was on the floor in my 11th grade classroom and it spoke to me. And for whatever reason, like it found me and I needed to keep it. It says, the zipper displaces the button and a man lacks just that much time to think while dressing at dawn. A philosophical hour and thus a melancholy hour. that's the quote from the book. And this person writes, people need to be fast moving in order to be happy, because thinking and free time leave time for thoughts, and thoughts lead to depression.
Oh my God. Jesus.
Isn't that deep?
What are your thoughts on that?
I think it's telling you the value of having a little bit extra time, which forces you into a moment of self-reflection, which helps you into a moment of growth.
Because that sounds like it's saying like that, like having time to think is like a bad thing.
Oh yeah, it is. Right.
Okay.
It is.
Yeah.
But I mean, melancholy, I think, is kind of, well, that's interesting. Yeah, people need to be fast moving in order to be happy, because thinking and thoughts lead to depression. That's so weird that like, when I read it, the way that I thought of it is like, to be blindly and dumbly happy is the bad thing.
No, right, yeah.
And to think through something and get into the melancholy and have that philosophical hour.
Maybe that's what they were saying. Maybe they were just doing
the good
it in
thing.
a kind of very counterintuitive way.
Yeah, it's something
But
about...
that's the lesson I take from that too. I mean, it's... Well, I guess the lesson that I take from it is just kind of my analysis of the first line, the quote. I think... Well, I guess the quote doesn't really say that either.
The zipper displaces the button. That concept.
That's the first part. Yeah, that's the part that...
Beautiful.
Yeah.
The button is better.
And then the part about how you lose just a little moment to be able to think and stuff. And I mean, what that brings up in my mind as you're reading it is this image of this like ever optimizing tendency that we have that takes every waking moment that we have and puts it into some
optimize
some economically productive
make money. Capitalism, invent
thing,
progress,
and you like, I mean, really, I mean, we are just not made for that. We're just not made for that.
For what?
We're not made to optimize everything into some economic output.
Why not?
Metric.
That's the problem. I think we kind of are.
I don't know. I don't think so at all.
In humanity, because what's the opposite of progression?
Well,
staying the same.
Well, you can look at humanity at scale, and you can look at individuals. What I'm speaking to is individuals. Individuals are not made to do that.
Okay.
We need a lot of other things beyond optimizing for economic output or progress.
Oh, I totally agree with that. Right.
That's what I'm saying.
Fulfillment, human experience, human interaction.
Yeah.
Right.
I can see
slowness of life is good.
Yeah. Well, you need to do other things beyond be productive.
Like feed your soul.
Yeah, exactly. All the things which are not economically measured, right. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff. I mean, around like raising kids. I mean, I could go on a rant about this. There's so many things which are not measured by our, that our markets don't take into account that are hugely valuable. The main one that I'm thinking of being raising kids. Like who gets paid from raising kids?
Right.
Nobody. You don't get paid.
Yeah.
Right. It's one of the most valuable and important things in society.
That's so interesting.
It's not at all accounted for.
Right.
In our
Why don't
economy.
if we're going to pay teachers, if we're going to pay bus drivers,
and teachers don't even pay that well.
Like, why don't
jobs.
Why doesn't the government pay stay-at-home moms?
Right.
This is a pro stay-at-home moms podcast.
Yeah.
Or dads.
Or whatever family style you have. Yeah.
I don't know if we're gonna keep that part. Yeah, that might be a cut part.
I don't remember what it was. But what were we just talking about? I had a point I was going on
about the family unit and the perception of value.
Yeah, well, and what humans are made to do. Yeah, so on an individual level, there's a lot more things that we need. We need to connect with people. We need to have moments to kind of connect with. Just being grateful and participating in. I don't know, just the experience.
So there's two kinds of people.
Life.
There's two kinds of people in the world right now.
Okay, what do you mean?
And I want to categorize everybody into one of two categories.
Okay.
Those who prefer the zipper and those who prefer the button. Here's another category, another way of dividing it. Those who think this one might be even better too. Those who think the self-driving car is good for us, and those who think the self-driving car is bad. And what I want to say is, if you think that the self-driving car is good for humanity, you need to check your values. Because the way that I see it,
what do you mean by humanity, though? Because I think what I'm getting at is there's a kind of conflating of two ideas. There's humanity as in the larger project.
I think
there's
they're
humanity as in the
interrelated.
individual. Well, they certainly are.
And here's how. I mean, it has to. I mean, there's so many ways. It has to do with how are you? Are you pissed off? Are you happy? Are you one of the 5? I have this on my wall. The 5 things that you need to make sure you have in order to be happy. It's health, belonging, meaning, mastery, and the last one, autonomy. Mm-hmm. And what happens is when you have an autonomous vehicle, what you're doing is you're relinquishing your own autonomy, your own ability to creatively express yourself in how you drive. Driving, people are not creative. People have, not everybody's an artist.
Sure.
Not everybody has an opportunity to express themselves creatively. Driving, I think, is one of the few things that we have that allows